7, the Anavysos Kouros. It is the second of our Greek pieces, and my two sons, who were home during the COVID when I was starting to make videos, insisted on posing as the chorus Kuroi, and so here they are. Okay, so a Kouros is a youth. It is an idealized, perfect youth. The form of our Anavysos Kouros is, it is 6 foot 4.5 inches high. It is composed of marble. It had red paint on it in the back, or excuse me, on the hair. You can still see remnants of that red paint here. It is carved in the round, and in terms of looking at it from the back, you can look at it from the back more so than many of the other statues we've seen already. And but it is in a frontal position that we're intended to look at it. The knees are forward. One leg is forward, I mean, but the knees are locked. The Kouros has his hands in a clenched position. They're held really close to the body. But if we look at the face, it's not as chiseled angular. It's more round and naturalistic is the way it's being described. He even has tear ducts. What we also notice about this statue from the archaic Greek, archaic is going to be the first of 3 eras in Greek art, but what we see in the statues is an archaic smile, it's called. Rather than having the faces just appear grim, yeah, the style was to kind of make them seem smile, not smile like at you, hi, how are you? I'm having a happy day, but just there's humanism there going on in that, on those, in the lips. Mentioned the red paint. These statues were not meant to be viewed without paint on them. They were intended to be very painted up. What we're automatically wanting to do is to compare and contrast the Greek statues with the Egyptians. And so automatically we can see that the male Greek statues are nude as compared to our Egyptians that have a kilt. And then you'll also notice, do you see all of that gray wacky here? It's been carved or left in place here, but on the Greek statues, they have definitely moved out of the stone, and so they are more present with us, a little more natural, more realistic. So I'll show you here. Do you see the hand here? There is a little bit of marble still remaining to keep that hand attached. So it's not completely free yet from the marble. This statue, which is also a Kouros, was made in 600 BCE. Our Kouros, the Anavysos, is 70 years after this one, but we can see even a little bit more changes toward the naturalistic style. You can see that he's actually called the New York Kouros. You'd find him in the Met. He's got more marble attaching his arm to his thigh. And then do you see this hip line? It is kind of unnatural line transition from the midsection to the leg. But here, if we look at that transition from the abdomen to the leg, we see instead of a line, we kind of see more of a fat roll. And so we're getting to this more naturalistic phase. We see it also in the hair. This is the hair here is, the same. It's this kind of braided, curled hair. And or knotted, I should say, not braided so much. But it's pretty straight here, angular. Whereas on the Anavysos Kouros, we have more molding with the body. So more of a natural, that's the way it would have appeared in real life. Okay, the function of a Kouros is that it is a grave marker. It commemorates an individual after death, and it can also be made as an offering to the gods. This one is not. This one is more of a grave marker. It marks the grave of a man. I spelled with two O's there. Kroisos, and we know this because on the pediment on which he stood, there was this carved. And they were actually separated. So when this was uncovered, they're pretty sure that this quote belongs with this Kouros. And the quote is, "Stay and mourn at the monument of dead Kroisos, who raging Ares slew as he fought in the front ranks." So the Greeks are famous for their battles that we're going to be talking about a little bit in class. And if you know anything about the Greek gods, just Achilles and all of that, those gods waging war, those were role models for the Greek culture. And to have a young man here die in battle was a great honor, but it is also something that should be commemorated with a Kouros. This was founded in 1936 in the town of Anavysos, Greece. And these statues are just really valuable. And it was stolen after it was uncovered and was found recovered in France, and so was returned to Greece, and it is now in a museum in Athens. So that's our Kouros, the Anavysos Kouros.